Want to talk to you about the tropics with this update. We have a little something we're watching off the southeast coast of the United States in the Atlantic Basin. Finally, it's been weeks now with very quiet conditions across the Atlantic Basin. We're getting into that busier time now, the end of July, and then August, it really ramps up. The peak happening in early September, and then the activity still pretty robust into early October, but winding down as the month continues. That's the typical way the hurricane season plays out in the Atlantic Basin. Water temperatures plenty warm in the Gulf off the southeast coastline, and keep this area right here in mind. Temperatures 80 degrees or warmer. There is plenty of heat here to help support tropical development. The warmth continues across the rest of the basin all the way over towards the coast of Africa. What do we watch it? Well, the Hurricane Center has identified this area right here just this morning as an area that we need to monitor over the coming week. There's a 20% chance, according to the Hurricane Center, that there may be some tropical development. Now, what's going on? We have a frontal boundary, the same front that's been producing the flooding rains, the tail end of that back across central and southern Texas. It's going to settle a little farther to the south. And historically speaking, sometimes these decaying fronts, when we look back, there can be areas of low pressure that develop along them as they kind of fizzle out. Whether that low pressure develops here or whether something were to develop maybe a little farther to the northeast, that's where there is question. And honestly, looking at the modeling, the global models out over the next 10 days, none of them are really going crazy with any type of storm development. So it's only a 20% chance, but it is interesting because for weeks, as I mentioned, we've had nothing happening in the Atlantic. So this is an area where we'll be watching. I will say one of the global models was kind of intensifying a little more rainfall and maybe some tropical, heavier, steadier, persistent rains, trying to get a little bit organized in this part of the Gulf. So we'll need to watch that, kind of drifting it up towards, the bend there in Florida. So we'll continue to monitor that. As far as the rest of the tropical basin goes, things are pretty quiet. We still have copious amounts of Saharan dust coming off the coast of Africa. One little pocket here moves across the Caribbean, and then you see as we get into the end of July, another large plume set to come across. So while it is not as dry or dusty back across the Gulf or the southeast coast, looking out, there is more set to roll off later in the end of the month and as the season progresses. So we'll keep an eye to all of this. For now, just that one area off the southeast coast that we'll be watching over the coming week. We'll see if anything happens. Now, over in the Eastern Pacific, different story. We have Elida, and this tropical storm formed, and you can see it's a minimal tropical storm as of the 5 a.m. update. We'll get additional updates by 2 o'clock Thursday morning, expected to have 50-mile-per-hour winds, so slow to really strengthen. That's the forecast from the Hurricane Center. Eventually, it may become a hurricane, but you can see it stays offshore and well away from land, so not a threat to land. That's good news. A couple other areas we've been monitoring with a moderate chance of development well to the south of Hawaii, not threatening Hawaii, and we'll continue to watch any additional possible development near the coast of Mexico over the coming week as well. For now, that's what's happening in the Eastern Pacific. Quick reminder now, while there's nothing going on, it's a good time to make sure you have a plan in place in case something does develop. And the best thing you can do is determine your potential risks. If there were to be a tropical system to impact our area, you need to determine what is your risk from water. Are you in an area that could flood easily, or are you more vulnerable to stronger winds? Just understand what your risks are. You want to begin preparing now before there's any storm threatening the area. When those storms threaten, you need to start moving quickly. So this is a time to make sure you've got a plan in place. Talk to your family, understand what your plans would be if you had to move, or if something was bearing down, how would you deal with it? Have those discussions now. Learn how to understand the hurricane forecast and alerts, and learn what to do before, during, and after the storm. Again, nothing threatening Hampton Roads right now, and that thing down along the southeast coast may or may not ever develop, but we'll be watching it and we'll keep you updated.